see what audio issues we have today. Hopefully none. So let's just check. Shouldn't have any issues today. Come on. Mute that one a minute. I think we're good. Hey, no way, Joe. It's fine. Hey, we're good. There we go. Everything's good. We are live. Alright, let's get this all in where I need to get it. Bear with me, guys. Share now. Share now. Tweet that. Should get everyone in. That one in. Get that up and running. So, and we are set. Inifal, I'm not too good. To be fair, sound, everything sounds not good. Right, let me fix it a minute. I think we've got a more chance of signing him, to be honest with you. I've got a lot of talking points for this week's stream. Let me turn up the audio input. But a bit. Turn it up gain a bit. Where's the gain? Where's my gain? There we go. That ain't better. There we go. I think we're all set then. So, follows that. It's covering that light. So if we just put that there like that, we're sorted. Right. So we have a lot to talk about this week. First thing first. When the hell did the fucking Hell's Angel move that out? No idea, John. But I'm waiting for it because if they do, I'll get me some Nicky Beth out. Only joking. But Jesus Christ, every time I go live now, it seems to be he's revving up his motorbike. It's strange at the minute. We had it earlier with one set, then him. But hey, so we've got some interesting things to talk about on this one because let's start with in a sense the Harris situation because he's always brought it up and I'm intrigued by this one because this week has been very interesting for our club once again. We are very good at getting our fans riled up and looking under rocks and making 2 and 2 is 4 and trying to figure stuff out. So it's one of those things when we need to be a bit careful with what coming out rumour wise and see what happens and go from there. Oh, that's better. Good. Played around with the setup today, changed things around. As you can see, the flag came in at last, so people are not going to be confusing me as a United fan with my Amsterdam flag. So we'll see what happens there. What I'll do for the next one, DJ, I will try and get this a little bit better sound quality and go from there. But so Harris looks like he is coming on a 3-year deal. Free transfer as well, which is fantastic. Heard a lot of good things about him. Didn't really get played that much at Cardiff because they had the likes of Hoyler. They had some other really tricky wingers. So he was always going to struggle to get in to that Cardiff team. He really was always going to struggle to get in there for me. And it's one of those things where you just got to take it as it is, really. Because when you get into the Premiership and people start spending a lot of money, you're going to get these players who are just better and just won't get the opportunity. And he hit that kind of category. Wasn't going to get an opportunity. So we're now going to have a chance to get someone in for free. which is fantastic. And if you look at everything that we've done so far, most of them have been free transfers that have come in. So this is looking good. If you look at what our left and right back are going to be looking like, that's going to look pretty solid. And I've got some little bits that I want to talk about other players who we might be going in for and stuff like that. But some of the big news was last weekend. I covered it. I may not have got some of the points right. I'll admit that now. But it was about Chancery making these new companies. So a week on, as such, in a sense, we're finding out that there's a fifth company he's made. So it looks like he's splitting the club into different sections and different companies. So is that to just help bring in revenue and make a bit more profit on the club, then fair be it. But we have to go with what he's doing, because at the end of the day, I always say this, Sheffield Wednesday Football Club is our club of fans, but not our club as owner. The owner owns it. He can do what he likes with it. But luckily, we don't have the situation where he wants it for the stadium. He wants to sell the stadium off. He wants to make flats or new things. And you've got to go through that and sort that out. And it's one of those situations at the minute where he doesn't want that. He bought a football club for the sake of it. So it could be interesting in that sense. Newcastle takeover not looking good, but still doesn't mean we still won't get Lazar and Aaron's. It's not looking good, but it all depends who they bring in. Them losing Benitez is a bonus for Aaron's, but a big loss for the club. But it all depends who they bring in. It could be something like where they bring in a manager who been told work with what you've got, and he sees that Lazar and Aaron's are there and they're okay backup players, and he plays them. So it could be interesting in that one. But it'll be interesting to see what happened with the Newcastle deal. We need Newcastle thing to go right in our sense, but it's Ashley. He probably either asked for more money, insulted them, or he all done something to fuck it up. It's Mike Ashley. He's very good at trying to sell that club and then going, oh, all these season tickets have come in, I won't sell the club now. It's what he's good at. It's I need to push the season ticket if we need to make more money. Bada bing, bada boom kind of thing. So we'll see what happens with that one. But that one is very interesting with what's going on there. So as it stands, Chancery is making lots of other companies. It kind of similar to what Derby did with how they sold the ground and leased it to themselves. So I'm guessing here, and these are my opinions, I'm guessing that he's doing this to have it so it's not being like going straight to him. So he's got a separate company to go, this is the company that owns it, and then we'll lease it back to Wednesday. Even though he still owns the company, if that makes sense. It's something that's actually very common to happen at different clubs and stuff. So it's something that I'm not too concerned about as much. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. So we are back in pre-season this week. This week, the players are back. They've all got to be back for hours in the park on Sunday. I will speak about that in a bit. But we are back for pre-season, and players better be fit, because he issued them all a bunch of, if you're not fit, you are going to feel it in your pocket. And one of the things you've got at the minute is that I follow a couple on social media, so I've seen Van Aken been doing a lot of work, Palmer doing a lot of work. One of the players that I haven't seen doing much work, and it could be that he's not posted it, but he did do a lot last season, was Fortieri. He's not put in that much to shift. And talking Fortieri, we still don't know what's going on with him in terms of the FA. But at the same time, if one of these things, if players come back and we can get players up to speed fitness, and with our new medical assistants, that will help a hell of a lot. If we can get him to look at players and go, this is where you're going wrong, or we need to do this, or we need to improve on that, that will be fantastic. But we've got to see what the problems is, and hopefully this will help get rid of some of the problems and the injuries we had last year. But we got to come back, and we've got to have to start well. If we do not start well, we're going to have problems. We're going to have like major problems. And if you look at the championship this year, there's no one in that championship that you say they're going to go up. Oh, they got a good chance. It's going to be so open. And that could be nice as fans. But and as someone who love watching the Championship anyway, even if my team are in it, I find the Championship very exciting. I don't find the Premiership that exciting at times. So having an open Championship will be fantastic for us and people watching. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on and what happens next. And so there's a rumour going around today that Rotherham are looking at buying Joe Wildsmith. Now, if this is the case, then fair enough. He's a player that's not going to be looking like he's going to be in the squad anytime soon. Wildsmith is going to be ahead of it. It looks like Dawson's going to be the one that's going to be back up. So that could possibly mean Dawson stays and maybe a youth team keeper comes up and replaces that spot of Wildsmith. Now, if Wildsmith is going, it's believed the figure is going to be around 750k, which isn't too bad actually. 750 grand isn't that bad at all. Rotherham need a keeper. I'm going to take a guess. It's one of those things. Joe doesn't really want to leave the area, so he'll go there. And we've done deals like this before, where you've seen players go and stay in the area, but not been in a position to affect us in a sense. So Wildsmith going, it'll be great for him. He's a young keeper. He needs to go get game time now. And he's at that age where he needs to be playing week in, week out, week in, week out. And it's a shame we've not been able to give him that. But it's very, very hard to take Westwood out of that team. He does know how to command his box. He knows how to play really well. We are offering him a 2-year deal. So you don't want to give a keeper a 2-year deal and then say you're not playing. So I personally think this could be a good deal for both club and Joe, because it'll just give us a chance to get everything sorted with Joe. Because if Joe can get it all sorted and get out and play regular football, you never know, it could be one of those things in a couple of years' time that he got better and got really good. We might need a keeper and we might go in for him. It's similar to the whole Adam Davis thing at Barnsley. There were people saying, well, we should have kept him, but he needed to go out and play 13 football. This is the problem. We are very good at making good young goalkeepers, but sadly, they do not get a chance to come into the... Come into the 13th squad. We need a live stream on Monday. Transfer window opening day. We've been linked with more than once with the window open. You mean international transfers, because transfer window have been open since a while. I could do one Monday. It all just depends on what I've got going on schedule wise. But hopefully, if people want a live stream Monday, I will try and do one. I can't technically promise one as such, but if I can get one done, I'll get one up. So, has anyone seen the rumour about us getting Josh Bowler? Now, Chinny in the chat is mate of mine. I asked him about it. He said he's really good. He looks like he could do something, and it could be a signing that would be good for Wednesday. And it's one of these things where if we could get him in, that'd be fantastic. But we are not the only club that is linked with him. So there is Middlesbrough and Derby are looking at him as well. And if what they want, we have to be smart with this, with who we bring in, when we bring them in. We don't want to get too many players in and chuck them in at the deep end. Luckily, this would be a loan. A loan would be fantastic right now. And if we could possibly either do a loan deal for him and a loan deal for Hector, I'd be happy with that. Because I'm still not 100% sure we'll get Hector on a permanent. I think it might be a loan and then we'll offer him a contract at the end of that loan. But things on the Hector deal are still ongoing. Fulham are looking at him as well. So it'll be one of those interesting things. But this lad, if we can get him in from Everton on loan, that would be fantastic. He looks decent. He looks like he's a bit of a talent. It could cause us the right problems on the wing, because that is where we are missing players. We don't have enough wingers. Our wingers are terrible. It really is bad. So it would be good to get some more wingers in and see what happens next. So it also got put out in the week that Bruce wants the values of Forestieri, Rhodes and Zhao to come down because he wants to ship them out. So that's saying to me they're not part. They're either part of his plans, but he rather sell them and get money and bring in the players he wants, because one of these things where he might be saying he wants lower things, but he might be wanting to sell them because he knows he can get a younger player or better player. I know he said in the past that Fortieri was a great player and on his day is unbeatable, but Fortieri's had 2 big injury problems, and he's in his last year of the contract, I believe, or he's got a year left next year. I can't remember which one it is. You got a player there who's going to be worth a fair bit if we can get the right money for him. Rhodes, we're going to want to try and cash in whatever we can, but at the same time, you're not going to get what we paid for him because that was a ridiculous deal. It really was. And Zhao is one of those ones where we could actually get some decent money for him if he went back to Portugal or something like that. I still don't know if Huddersfield are still in for him, which would be interesting. I'd be interested to see what people would want for the likes of Rhodes, Bez and Zhao. Would you want to see them? Would you want to see 2 of them and let 1 go? Can't see all of them going. I can't see them all going. No, I can see 2 of them going and keeping 1 or something. But the problem is, you've got Bez that is quite injury prone, and most of this summer he's been Argentina, and I'm starting to get the feeling that he kind of wants to go back home. Rhodes is an interesting one because on his day in the Championship, he's a fantastic player, but it feeling like we bought him at the wrong stage in his career. We really did. And then you've got Zhao, who's a good player, but he's inconsistent as hell. There's only so much you can say to Zhao. Say, let's keep going, let's try and believe in him, pushing him. But one game he's good, and then the next game he's rubbish. He's really inconsistent, and he needs to get that consistency back. Because all these players on their day can be world beaters. He can be fantastic and really good player, but we need consistency. We need to have the consistency now, and that's what we need more than anything. For me, sell Fortieri and Rhodes and keep Zhao. I'd rather sell Fortieri and Zhao, keep Rhodes, but that me hand on my heart kind of turning around and saying, well, we might get the road back. But I understand your thing. Zhao is young and he's still got time to improve and prove a point. And I think he can one of the players who wouldn't mind actually doing that and proving to people that he can do it on the main stage and get things done. Like I said, we still have a lot of strikers, and the interesting one is that it seems like Bruce is going to keep a lot of faith in Fletcher. Bruce looks like he's going for Fletcher to be his starting forward, along with either Zhao at the side of him, which could be interesting. We are needing to ship some players out though. We still have a too big a squad, and it would help to ship some of these older players out and get some younger players in. If you look at some of the people we've been linked with, and we're linked with pretty much everyone at the minute, which is the thing. The thing is, with Rhodes, you know he can do it at the Championship. He's done it. With Fortieri, he had one great season with Watford and went up. He had one great season with us. And then it's not been great. We had that first season which was fantastic. You can't sell Fez. But if all Gus saying sell them, but who are you going to bring in? Who is a good level that will come into Wednesday who can we actually afford? Well, this is the thing. It's Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce has contact. You look at some of the players we're looking at. Did anyone think we were looking at Harris? No. Did anyone think we were looking at Bonner? No. Did anyone think we were looking at the kind of player, the lad from Brentford who we're bringing in? No one looked at them. And the thing is, you've got to think that we can't keep going. Oh, he's gone for, we'll go for him because he's done it all. Think Bruce is very good at picking a lower league player putting 1 million to 2 million to them and telling the club to say we're going to put this much in our sell-on fee and go from there. And so it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's very good at getting players out of lower leagues or in different leagues in the world and getting them playing. Bruce is an excellent scout when it comes to players. He's got a great team of players. He's got an eye for players. So is his scouts. So that doesn't actually worry me that much, to be fair. I think we could get people in. And we don't know what's going to happen come the embargo. There's some players that we're going to have to still keep because we can't sell them. We keep changing our front line too much, though. We have 2 in for a game and then 2 out and change it around. Yeah, but the only reason we've had 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, 2 out is because there've been injuries. We haven't had a consistent lineup up front since about the first season under Carlos, when it was Hooper lined up with Fez at times. That was consistently the lineup. And we got to see what happens with that and see how we play. Because you're right, it is dangerous changing that front lineup every time, but we haven't had a consistent front lineup because we've had injuries. Our issue with our front lineup has been we've been injured to hell, and this is the problem. Got too cocky, refusing to play at Norwich, would have gone then for me. Oh, did he refuse to play at Norwich? I didn't know about that one. So, if that's the case, yeah, that is a bit cocky, but at the same time, some managers like it, some don't, and it'll be interesting what happens. I still think Bruce could get something from him. No chance you can sell your best player and then sign someone who might not be good enough in that area to be in the Championship. But you're saying this, but what if Fortieri has already decided he doesn't want to be here again? Because he's had his head turned once. The thing is, you're saying about selling our best player. How much as last season was our best player in our team? The problem is, you've got a player now who's getting into that injury-prone situation, and it's not good. I think under everyone, we could be good in what we do. So it'd be interesting what happens live on YouTube if you want to watch. And I know what you're saying, selling your best player and then bringing, but you don't know who he's gonna bring. But all we know, we could sell Fortieri and find the net Pookie. Or we could sell Fortieri and bring in the next bloody Alden Abby. It swings and roundabout. But in Bruce, you know that he's got a good eye for a player. And you know that he's going to find the right player. Because there was something on Twitter earlier saying, what positions are you thinking we need to improve on? We all know it's defence. Massively defence. And we need to improve the midfield. In the midfield, we need someone who's strong, who can get people off the ball. The problem with our midfield, it is so lightweight. It is really, really light. People feel like they can get knocked off. And that's the issue. If we can have someone who can stay on the ball and then get it forward, that'd be awesome. Yeah, but it's very hard to do that. Do that is a gamble. Yeah, but since Chansiri came, if you think about it, our entire whole situation had been a gamble. It was a gamble when we got Rhodes, didn't work. It was a gamble when potentially when we got Abdi, hasn't worked out. I understand what you're saying, Connor, but I'm at that opinion that Fortieri getting to that point where unless he can give us back the Fortieri of that first season, if we can get Fortieri's first season, I'll hold my hands up and go, I was wrong on that one. But if we don't get that Fortieri, you're going to have that situation. And you don't know how much Fortieri might bring in. Fortieri selling could bring in about 3 or 4 players. You don't know. It's an interesting one. Rose was a gamble. Rose was a massive gamble because we were all expecting him to hit the ground running and try and get us into the Premiership. It didn't work. Rowe was a huge gamble, considering we pretty much all but turned around and said we weren't getting Rhodes because we were getting Winnall. Rowe was a big gamble because he didn't really like the World Cup when he was at Middlesbrough. Rowe was a bit of a gamble in terms of how much we paid for him. I don't think Rhodes is an £8 million player, £10 million player. We had our pants down. But Rhodes' situation was a mixture. We didn't play to his style, which I think under Bruce we will do. That's why I'm saying keep Rhodes and stuff. But you've got to realise Rhodes was still a little bit of a gamble for our club. Other clubs, it wasn't that much. That's it. Jimmy said it best. Everyone can be replaced. He was there you go. He was a proven goal scorer in the Championship. He did okay at Norwich, and then he kind of didn't manage to get his way back into the team. Rhodes, if you get the right service to him, is a great player. If you can play to his strength, which I think Bruce will, it's fantastic. And the fact that Bruce wanted him when he was at Villa says a lot. Exactly. Wasn't gambling on quality. We were gambling on paying a lot of money. Yeah, but that's still the same kind of thing. If you think about what you gamble, you're going to gamble on money and on Rhodes, where you're going to have a lot of people who, when he came in, even when he was coming to the club, you had people who were dead excited for him to finally coming in. But there were some people like, well, he hasn't actually done that much since he'd been at Middlesbrough. And the problem is, with Rhodes coming in, he can do it at Championship level. I agree with you. And we've got to play to his strength, which we didn't do. If we play to his strength, completely different story. But any player you bring in is a gamble in terms of what's going to happen. And it's like Jimmy said, every player can be replaced. As much as it would be really bad if we lost someone like our creative spark in Forestieri, no player is bigger than the club. At the end of the day, players come and go. Like, I'm a big Atinushu fan. People will slate me for that. Would I be gutted if he went? Yes, I would be gutted if he went. I think he offers something to it. But if he turned around and said, oh, I want this, this, and this, and this, but he's only scored 3 goals in so many games, but he's asking for a bigger contract, I'd be turning and saying, no, you've got to earn that contract, and if you don't like it, go. This is what we've got to... When it comes to players, we have to stop being emotional about them. Because at the end of the day, we are a business at the same time. The club needs to make money, which it comes down to what we've not been doing for the last couple of seasons. We've been stockpiling... We've got to stop stockpiling players like we have done. But at the same time, our biggest problem has been injuries. We all know this. Our injury problem has been the biggest problem. I disagree. Not for the price we can afford. All right, but Connor, we're all entitled to our opinions. That's why I set this up. I get it. That's my opinion. That's your opinion, and that's what makes the kind of fan channel good. Because the thing is, everyone's got their own opinion. Hursty with quality at Southampton. Hurst with quality at Southampton took a gamble, didn't work. What are your thoughts on Jordan and Charles Dinky? Hugo Link, I'm not 100% sure, just because we've got too many strikers as it is. For that one to happen, I think 1 or 2 strikers are going to have to go. Could be an interesting one. He did do very well when he was at Preston. So, interesting one, that one. The Chip Dunkley one, I'd like him to come in. I'd like him to be a player that we actually bring in. I think he's quality. It depends how much Wigan would want for him. And if you actually look at the Championship as well, there's not many teams doing that many deals at the minute. I don't think there's a lot of money out there. I think you're going to either see a lot of loan coming late on, or there's a lot of free transfers yet to get done and people are waiting. But Hugo, for me personally, opinions out on it. I think we've got too many strikers as it is, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not bothered about money. It's not my money. I'm concerned about on the pitch, and there's no guarantee if we sold Fez, we would even get close to how good he is. I get what you're saying about Fez. We might not get close to how good he is, but At the same time, if a good amount of money came in for him, the club got to think about balancing the books. We haven't done that for ages. And in a club sense, balancing the books, very important. And Fez is a fantastic player and he can do things. If we can get Fez back into the season and season before, fantastic. But you just got to let emotions in the sense of that not play, because at the end of the day, Fez is a game changer. We know this, and I know what he's saying. Could we get someone as good as him replace him? Probably not. But let's also remember, we got Forestieri and he only cost us 3 million. It was only like 3 or 4 million. So you never know. We might find another one at not that much. And when we bought him for that, everyone was gobsmacked. So let's see what happens with the Forestieri thing. Like I said, Connor, it's your opinion, so let's see what happens. Watched him at Wigan away. He's a monster. Yeah, he does look like a really good player, actually. He looks a fantastic little player. I kind of like him a lot. It would be interesting to see what Bruce could do with him. And if you look at the players that Bruce is looking at the moment, we're looking at players that are young. They've got time to grow into the role. And the thing is, we're not looking at old players. Even though we did offer for Stuart Downing, which I kind of think was a mistake, but I think he was trying to get the experience in a winger on the cheap. Thankfully, he rejected us. So I'm kind of happy with that one. I know what you're saying. I agree with it. We could get a decent amount, sure, but because of the injury. Exactly, yeah. Injuries have been a problem. That's why you don't know what kind of player we're going to get. It's like with Kieran Lee as well. With his injury record, we could have a pre-season where no one picks up an injury. Touch wood. If that would be great, that would be fantastic. But it'll be interesting to see what happens again. Sorry about asking about Hugo again, but what if we shipped out Fez, Zhao or Rose out? Would you think he would be an ideal replacement? If we got rid of one of them, yeah, I'd take him. I would actually take him a lot because he would be really good in terms of what Bruce could do with him. But it's what kind of player Bruce is looking at. We don't know if Bruce's ideal as a striker is going to be. Hugo, you said he wasn't good enough, didn't you? And hey, at the end of the day, that's your opinion. But if we got rid of Rose, Jar, Fez, it does seem like Bruce wants one of them to go at least, because they're going to be on big wages, all three of them. So he wants somebody to go and bring someone else in. So that leaves us with Ati, because I think the rumours about him going are starting to die down a little bit. It all depends on how we can get for all of them, to be fair, if that's the case. Like I said, we need to get a consistent goal scorer. And that's something we haven't had for a while. We'll need to get something a bit more consistent. But if we can get someone in and see, it got to be the right player for the club. Hugo, personally, I'd rather take it as a loan than a permanent. But I think they're looking to sell him on. And it's not worked out for him. It's one of those ones where I got a player that I like at Middlesbrough. I like Ashley Fletcher. I think he's a decent player. I've seen bits of him. I think in the right team he could do really well. But it hasn't worked at whatever clubs, like you said before. There's certain players that work at different clubs. And I'd love to see Ashley Fletcher here. But you've got to go with what works. And we will be looking in the background at players who work, what deal we can do. And let's also remember, we're all talking about this whole thing of getting players in. We're still under embargo. Christ's sake. We could still have a situation where apparently we're meant to be trying to get it done by the end of the week. But we could be in a situation where we're in Portugal in pre-season and we're still embargoed and we're still waiting for these players to be allowed to sign. Hopefully this embargo crap will get sorted. I'm hoping by either the end of the week, then we can do the whole big announcement thing. So I will be interested to see who Bruce had got lined up. I think he got certain contacts in the game which would surprise you. If we could find the net Pookie, that'd be fantastic. But everyone could be looking for him at a bargain as well. So I think we just got to see what happens on the striker situation. Like I said, we need to get players out. I still think we have too many players who are not either good enough for this league or not good enough in my opinion. I also want to state as well, because I had it on the video when I was talking about the club companies. At the end of the day, these are my opinions, and then I do the stream so we've got everyone else's opinions. So it would be good. This is the reason I'm doing it. I like to get people's opinions. I like to have both my opinions, and there isn't a really good kind of way that is doing it yet. The plan in the future is to open up a Discord and invite people in to have their say. There is a Discord set up that I made 6 months ago with the plan of doing this, and 6 months ago my headspace was completely different. I had lots of other things going off. I have only really just managed to get live streaming down to a little bit of a fine art with how I'm doing it now. I'd like him to sign fast striker who can run in behind off Fletcher. Thing is, we are missing that kind of playing off the big man. We're going to miss Hooper in that sense. We're going to miss Hooper's, not in terms of speed, but we're going to miss that little link-up play. We're going to have to try and replace that in Hooper, because Hooper was very good at linking the play up. Him and Fletcher got a really good understanding. It's like Ati and Zhao have a really good link-up play understanding as well. We haven't found anyone to do that with Rowe, because Fletcher and Rose are very similar. There are some decent free transfers out there if we could get some, though. There are some decent players out there. So let me just check something here. And also, don't forget, I know it's going to sound really daft, don't forget, there could be some loans that we could get. We might be able to loan some players as well. And if we can loan some decent players, it makes it even better. So there are some really good free agents out there this season. There have been a lot of people who have been let go. So it would be interesting to see who you could bring in. So let's have a look. Moki, nope. Fuck off, people. Let me just send this person the link. So it'll be interesting to see who we will bring in. But at the same time, we do need to think about budget and see who's worth coming in. Because you got to remember, he's still got good contacts at Manchester United. He's still got good contacts at Chelsea. Like, there's people that he may have already had at other clubs who he might want to bring in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What else will I say? This Sunday, who is going to Owls in the Park this Sunday? Do we think there's going to be any announcement at Owls in the Park? Are we thinking we might do this kind of player? What was everyone thinking on Owls in the Park in terms in general? I didn't realise that Owls in the Park have been going for 7 years now. That's pretty impressive. So we will be very interested to see what happens. You say that Bolt is a free. It's not our winger problem, that is a fact. He could be a bit interesting. He was pretty good in the soccer age thing, and he didn't do too badly down in Australia, so yeah. Get Usain Bolt in. Apologies for that, I just need a drink. I've been talking for a while. The thing is, if we can get the right player in and the right deal, then Bruce will do it. But Bruce, I don't think Bruce is the kind of manager that will get completely bent over to get a player. I think he's very much in the terms of, if I want him, I will get him. And go from there. So let's have a look. Free agents. Show me forwards. So let's have a look what there is here. Going ages. We'll go ages lower to high, because I think you're going fantastic. It should be a good day. Weather's meant to be fantastic for it, to be fair. I know one of the people I speak to on our Talk is it Al Talk? Is it one of the other ones? He's coming away from Cornwall for it, so hopefully he can get down and everything be good. Hines have been released. Let's have a look. You can see this is the last bit where I've run out of actual talking points. Where the chat, I need you all to do. We've got the under 23s as well, who will probably have the pick a player to come into 13. So maybe there's a striker or two in there. There are some decent little players in there actually, because when people are talking about the winger situation, I still think Penny's a decent shout for coming in and playing off that. That would be really good. It's interesting to see where we're going for our pre-season. We're having 2 pre-seasons. One in Portugal, one in Germany. He had done this before. He's done this at Moat clubs. Preston's a decent little forward. Oh, we got Boraki and Denver good. So there are some good little under 23s that we might look at. And you know what Bruce is like. He likes to use players that he's already got in. He's very good at promoting younger players as well. Are they making that cake again? It sounds so good. Oh God, no! I hope they're not making that cake again. That was a fucking disaster. That was a nightmare. I understood this whole premise, but that was an absolute nightmare. That cake. They kind of dropped the clanger again by not doing the shirts and not hearing anything about the shirts, which is getting some people worried again that what's going on with the shirts this year, because we've not heard anything as such. So that is interesting, because at the minute we've got... So if you look at our forwards at the minute, we've got Newhugh, Winnall, Fletcher, Rhodes, Zhao and Bez. So say 2 of them are going. So let's say Winnall going. And for the sake of argument, let's say Zhao going. Right? So that then leaves us with Rose, Fletcher, Fortieri, Newhugh. I think we've got a situation where we are going to sell strikers and bring younger ones in, or more strikers that are going to be able to do all the business. Because our biggest problem at late is that we have not been able to get a good strike partnership. We haven't been able to get clear of all these bastard injuries we've had all of last season. I can't even fathom going through all this many injuries. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what Bruce does on pre-season with them, on both of them. We've still got 1 pre-season game to announce here. So it's only about 6 weeks till the start of the season. So it's come around quite fast. All our strikers are too similar. Yeah, they are a little bit. There's no one different. They all have the similar kind of style of play. You haven't got like a fast, speedy striker in there. I'm going to check something. Display. Oh, I'm doing alright. Luckily, I'm doing alright on battery for once. But they are all very similar, and we need to change it up a little bit. And we could do with another, say, striker who could come off the bench and do something. But at the moment, there isn't that option. But like I said, I am getting to the end of this stream because I've been going for... Let's have a look. We've been going for 43 minutes. That's starting to become my kind of cut-off zone. There will be long ones, there will be short ones of these streams, but thank you for watching and commenting. Like, subscribe, share it for me, which will be fantastic. The next time we go live, it would be brilliant if people could like and share it. The more shares I get, I could get more subs. Looking at my analytics the other day is kind of sad, because if all the people that actually watched my videos subscribed, I'd be on about 1,000 subs. So I need to kind of up that, but at the same time, I'm doing this because I love doing it. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you are all well, and I will see you in the next one.